welcome to another episode of Baking with Caroline and her mom. I'm Caroline, that's Mom.
Hi.
Today we're making maple sugar raggamuffins. They're sort of like non-yeast sweet rolls. Like a cinnamon roll, but we're not using cinnamon. Okay, walk me through it, Ma.
Okay, so you need 2 cups. Oh, we need to turn on the oven to 400.
Okay.
All right. And we've already put the rack in the right place, like in the middle, so there's good air circulation. Yeah. Okay, so 2 cups of flour, all-purpose flour.
And this is all in one bowl?
Yep, it's a 1-bowl thingy. Well, I mean, it's probably a 2-bowl thingy when you... Never mind. We'll worry about that when we get to it.
Cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 cups of all-purpose flour.
And a tablespoon of...
Still flouring.
Yeah, I know, but you can listen, right?
Don't forget.
A tablespoon of maple sugar. We got this maple sugar at the grocery store, right? And it's just with the other maple products.
Yes, and it was the only bag. It's pure maple sugar from Thompsontown.
Local.
Took me forever to find it because I thought it would be with the sugars.
Yeah, I know. You had to do an additional trip once I'd given you the clue.
And then Mom was like, try with the maple products. And I was like, oh. How much?
Tablespoon.
See, I told you.
Yeah.
Is it like brown sugar? It should be packed?
If it's packable. I think it's granular, right?
It's kind of packable.
Okay, so pack it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let me
What are we
see.
going to do with the rest of this bag of maple sugar?
Well, we'll have to make a lot of... Well, we're going to use more of it in the filling for these buns. But, blah, blah, blah. Tablespoon of baking powder. That's a lot of baking powder.
It is. Tablespoon will not fit in the hole.
Yes, I'm sure it will. Oh, I see. We have to take the lid off, yeah.
Okay, tablespoon of baking powder.
And mix that together. We're going to be cutting butter into this flour mixture. This is a technique that Caroline... Oh, yeah, it does need salt. It is half a teaspoon of salt. Thank you for reminding me. There's always something, right?
We get distracted.
Easily distracted, yeah. Okay,
So
so
we're mixing this together, and then we're using our pastry cutter.
come closer. Yeah, that's a pastry cutter. Okay. And 5, let me see. Oh yeah, well we have to get some cold butter out of the bottom of the fridge.
Cold butter.
Bottom of the fridge, at the back.
Behind the carrots.
Yeah, it calls for 5 tablespoons, which is slightly less than a quarter of a cup. So we're going to measure it. We're going to weigh it actually using the scales. 2 tablespoons is 1 ounce. So 4 tablespoons is 2 ounces, and 5 is 2.5 ounces. Okay?
Okay. And we want it to be in like little squares?
Yes, you're going to cut it into little squares.
Alright, you were waxing lyrically about amounts and I was not listening.
Okay. Since 2 tablespoons of butter weigh 1 ounce, 4 weigh 2 ounces, and 5, which is how much we need, weigh 2.5 ounces.
Okay, we've got 3.2.
Okay. You need to cut her back.
2.3.
It's a tiny amount, I think.
2.6.
Okay, that'll be fine. So now, yeah, cut it into small squares and add it to your mixing bowl. Then I will show you how to cut. You don't know how to do this, right?
I've seen you do it.
Okay.
It's weird to cut butter like cheese.
Do you feel tempted? All right.
Probably lost about 1 ounce on the...
That's fine because we had a bit extra, right? All right, I'm gonna come over there. All right, so here's Caroline's flour with the butter in it, and what you hold onto the bowl with one hand,
like this.
Yeah, and you press and turn. Press and turn. So you see what you're doing is you're cutting the butter.
Yeah, and making it
into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces, each one covered with flour. The little pieces of butter, yeah, you need to, oh, you don't like using your fingers, use your knife.
Just your fingers are fine. It's not goopy yet.
It's not goopy. So it's every single little piece of butter is going to be coated with flour, and that's going to be the basis of the flakiness of the biscuits that we're making.
Like when you're making pastry and you want your flour nice,
it's exactly the same.
You want your butter nice and cold so that it stands up to and you get those like puffy bits.
That's it. Yeah, in Britain, you know what they do? They use their fingers to do this, to rub the flour and the butter together, and I can't imagine, it must take forever.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys. Okay. How do we know when we're done?
You'll have, most of the pieces that you see will be pea-sized.
Pea-sized, okay.
Yeah. So are we there? Are we getting there? Let's see. I think we're getting there. Okay, stop. See, there's a big one, so we'll just rub it in by hand. You can see here, these are maybe a bit big. Uh-oh. My hand. Yeah, it's sometimes it's nice to do something completely by hand.
Nope, disagree.
Oh, all right.
This is not fun. My hand hurts.
Yes, that is the other part of it. True. Okay, I think we'll call that enough.
Okay.
So 3/4 of a cup of milk.
And it said whole milk, but we're using 1% because that's what we have?
Yeah. That's what we got. Well, you have to guess. Partway between, you know.
On the other side. Mm-hmm. What's with this NAF measuring thing that doesn't have quarters?
Well, I think it's the left-handed one is NAF, right?
Oh,
the other side.
Milk.
Okay, so get a fork out of the cutlery drawer and you're going to stir the milk. Make a little well.
Make a divot.
Okay. Pour in the milk.
All of it?
All of it. And then start mixing.
And we're doing the small circles to big circles. Ew.
I guess I'm taking over soon, huh?
It's getting gross.
Okay, so it's my turn because it's getting guppy. So it's, as you can see, it's still very rough. I think that's why these are called raggamuffins.
Ah.
Raggamuffins, because they're kind of rough looking.
Rustic.
Yeah.
Ugh, with her hand. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're kind of kneading it together to get all the
dry
into the wet.
And do you want it all, or is it okay if there's like a little bit left at the bottom?
If there's a little left at the bottom, we can just pour it on top and continue kneading on the counter.
Okay.
Yeah. My glasses are sliding down my nose. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to, oh, you know what we forgot to do?
Prep the pan. I was going to say something, but then you just dove straight in.
Yeah. So let's do that right now.
We forgot to spray the pan, so I just did it. You spray it really generously with canola oil, all on the top as well, because it's going to overflow.
So as I just said to Caroline, if there's some left in the bowl, then you just, it's quite stiff now,
the dough?
The dough, yeah. So we have it on floured surface here. And we're going to knead it 8 to 10 times.
8 to 10 times.
1, 2, 3, 4. And what we're doing is we're folding air in, right?
Yeah. And pushing down the butter chunks to flatness.
Yes. Then,
well, look, it's getting all neater as you go.
yes, 8. So that's, it's still kind of, it's not like a yeast dough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving this out of the
That's
tray.
all it needed though, 8?
Yeah, because I'd already done a couple
In the bowl, right.
Yeah. Now we're supposed to rolling. On a floured surface, right? So that it doesn't stick.
And what size are we aiming for?
11 by 13.
And that's inches or centimeters?
Oh. I'm an old gal. It's
inches,
yeah.
okay. Baking is weird like that, right? That it uses metric and imperial measurements.
My handy, it is, 10 and a half right now by,
Definitely not
8.
8.
So it's going to be quite thin when it's done.
Yeah.
And why are we rolling it this thin?
Because we're rolling them up in the muffin tins, right?
Yeah, we're going to stuff it.
Ah, yeah, we're going to put stuff in the middle.
Yeah. Take some.
Yeah, and add it to the sides, because it's not
Yeah.
wide enough.
Milk.
To glue.
A little bit of milk so it acts kind of like glue. To, now we have a wet bit.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay, let's see.
It is 10
Almost.
and 13.
So we just need to make it wider.
Just need to make it wider.
I don't know that it wants to get any wider.
I don't know. Yeah, because the gluten starts to build up after
Yeah.
a while, right? Not as much as it would do with
Yeast flour.
yeast.
I think almost 11 is probably
Okay.
good.
Then we're good.
Okay,
All right. So
now we're trading back.
we are.
Okay, so we're making the filling now. So I need 6 tablespoons of room temperature butter.
Which amounts to 3 ounces.
I did not turn it on.
Minor detail.
Yeah.
Along with a cup of that maple sugar.
Cup of sugar, okay.
Maple sugar.
Yeah.
And then we're going to cream those together, which uses a wooden spoon and pressing and turning kind of. A pressing and turning kind of activity.
So we're just squishing.
We're squishing.
Squishing. This
Maybe.
is not soft enough.
Oh, well,
Oh, I got it. It's just the edges.
okay. So, although we're using maple sugar and butter, you can instead use a cup of brown sugar and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And you'll then get
Cinnamon butter.
cinnamon butter, which you would use in the same way as this. Yeah, so we moved to the pastry cutter because it seems
The spoon was
a bit more efficient. The idea is to thoroughly incorporate, right? So that you got just butter, flavored butter that you can spread over the square that we made. You're doing really well. Look at that. You're actually changing and growing.
I hate it.
How's it looking? Is it looking pretty incorporated?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
See, it's all, you can see little bits of butter, but
Yeah.
that's okay. Okay. So now you're going to spread that on there.
All on top? And then are we rolling it?
Maybe you could take out bits of it from the bowl, squish it, squish it in your hands, and then put it down. Is that possible?
See now? I'm doing it, see?
Yeah. Can't really see because your hand's in the way. Yeah, like that. Or you could just sprinkle. so that it doesn't run away when we start rolling.
And we don't need to get it too close to the edges?
Right, you need to keep the edges, yeah, otherwise, it's going to leak out, right? So there we are.
I need to wipe my hands!
Okay.
So we're going to roll it now into a jelly roll.
Kind of, yeah.
Long side?
Yes, long side.
So
starting at a long side and rolling up tight, tight, tight. I wish I could, is that good?
Yes,
I
it's
can see it.
moving.
Yeah, make sure you keep it consistently rolled along the whole of the length of it. Excellent. Ooh, look. Some of it's coming out the ends.
Well, and we can put the end ones don't have a lot in it, so the stuff that fell out we can tuck in.
Okay, so it also says to straighten off the edges. I'm not sure how you want to do that with a knife of some sort, right? But I'm not sure exactly. Like that. Try that. So now we're going to cut it into 12 so that it fits into the muffin tins.
Okay. How big do you think they need to be?
Well, I think they need to be cut in half, then cut it in half, then cut it in... How many have we got now?
8.
Okay, so that wasn't good planning. We need 4 more. I don't know. Okay, so then we're going to put them
face down, like so?
Yeah. Tap them down into the bottom. It's nice the way they fit in there, huh? So the only way to go is up when they rise.
Well, these are going to be
giant.
Much bigger.
There's a failure of mathematics there.
Yay, team! If we were going to fail at anything, it was going to be mathematics.
True. Not our strong point. And our 4-leaf clover. Good. All right, so now we're going to place that on a lined baking sheet because it's bound to the syrup of the butter and and overflow.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're putting it in the oven.
4.
Which we remember we did at 400.
Yes, 400.
For 18 to 20 minutes, it says here.
Okay, so we'll put it in 18 and we'll check. It has beeped. We're going to check and see what it looks like. Ooh!
Pull the rack out. Oh, that looks pretty darn good, doesn't it?
It does.
I would say maybe 1 more minute.
Just to get a little bit of color.
Yeah. 1 or 2 more minutes to get color.
2 minutes, and while we're doing that, we'll just let you know. So the first step is to let it cool in the muffin tin so that the butter and sugar has a chance to solidify. So we're going to put it on a wire rack here, and then when they've cooled a bit, we'll then put parchment paper here and another wire rack, and then we'll take them out of the muffin tin. And that parchment paper is to catch any drippy maple buttery bits.
So we're going to give them a try, and they look really, really lovely. Okay, you go first. I'm scared.
Oh, they're sticky.
Ooh, sticks to the... Nice and flaky.
Uh-huh. Yeah, look at the layers, guys. Do you see? Where's the camera?
Yeah, I'm impressed with those layers. We did a good job.
We did. Good job, us.
And delicious.
Really delicious, really easy. You guys can definitely make these.
Yeah. So make some and post a photo in our in the comments.
Let us know what variation you do. See you next week.